Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Speedgaming Live Timespinner Randomizer Tournament. I am Urza MTG, and joining me in the booth is Windfay Maiden.
Hello.
Tonight we've got a very good race. We've got JimTheEternal versus Wafflesoup near the top of our lower bracket. This is the bottom half of our double elimination bracket. We're getting our lower half figured out to see who's going to first go up against our lovely Windfay Maiden here, and then going on to play against Tom Barry James to decide who wins our tournament. So we're down to the last 5 or 6 matches of the tournament. So pretty soon here we're going to get started. How are you doing tonight, Windfay?
I'm doing all right. Just had dinner, ready to talk about whatever we see. That's what we do here, right?
Indeed, and we've got kind of an almost an after dark stream. We're catering to some Pacific time zone players tonight. I think this is the latest we've had a match start. So
I think it might be.
Yeah, but you can see the gate has been dropped, and we will start to see the runners going any second now. Actually, about 5 seconds from now.
We'll get these synced up at some point soon.
Ooh, we have a Shattered Orb plus start. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
With
and Infernal Flames minus.
Infernal Flames minus. Not going to be a powerful spell, but it does mean they have immediate fire access, which is going to make for some interesting immediate routing. So I know we're pretty deep into the tournament here, but I'm still going to kind of go over some of the changes we've got from last year. We've got Quick Seed on, so they've got that Talaria attachment, so they're going fast compared to last year where we had that off. We've got an Empire Crown from Nell, which is the best headgear in the game immediately, so they're going to have some pretty good stuff. We've got the Rising Tides flag. We get to see Wafflesoup's custom Sprite.
Sprite.
So yeah, we've got Rising Tides, which is going to flood random areas of the map. We might see a map check coming in. We've early Kobo, which will be helpful when they get to the library in the present.
Yeah.
You can see here, this area doesn't normally have water in it that Wafflesoup and Jim are going through with the bridge, which is making their jumping a little bit easier. We're going to see various areas of the games that might or might not have water. Keycard D early, and interesting. Jim just got a random lab coat drop from a rat.
That's pretty good.
Yep. We see a map check from Waffle. It was a little too fast for me to catch everything.
I don't think yet.
Okay. All right, so we've got flooded Lake Serene. I did notice that. So Lake Serene still has water in it. So they decided not to go left because they need vertical to pass through Lake Serene, and so they won't be able to burn any vines with their fire spell. Orb plus. Oh my.
That's some amazing starting basic orbs. That's great.
Yep, Shattered Orb being one of the best blunt damage orbs, and
Orb one of the best sharp.
Yep, Orb being one of the best damage orbs in general, just with orb swapping techniques, which I believe they're both very proficient with. We also have the what's the name of the Unchained Keys flags. So they both started with the Twin Pyramid keys, but no warps. They can only go to warps that they visited, which is why they both went left immediately to get that warp on the way to Lake Serene, and then went back to the encampment.
I'm just stunned by the start of this. Sorry. So yeah, that's been very popular recently. It just presents a lot of fun options. Finding your warp to the present is always fun. They can also get to the present using the Timespinner wheel and spindle, which is another option.
Yeah, and we've seen a number of races this year that have come down to, do they remember that setting is on?
We also have on, which some people just absolutely hate. I still think it's fun. The I Spy flag, which is there is a ring that you normally get in the game that lets you see where breakable walls are, if you're near them. You need that in this to be able to break the walls, so that creates some interesting backtracking choices sometimes.
Indeed. It really has been quite controversial, but I've liked it so far.
It's interesting. It does make some checks like that are way out there, just the most important thing in the game, but that's kind of the whole thing with randomizers.
So while we've been explaining settings, we've seen Umbra Minus and Colossal Hammer Regular, which means we're not going to probably find a better Blunt Orb than that Cheddar Plus.
Yeah. But Blunt is nice. It does a lot to some bosses, and not many are strong to it, if I remember.
Indeed. So we're just kind of going through the castle, getting... We're on pretty standard routing. We're on pretty good match here. They're maybe a few seconds off from each other as they're killing in various different ways. You can see Jim is doing a lot of orb swapping already. Which is
this isn't flooded, which is nice.
Yeah, it's castle basement, not flooded. To explain orb swapping for those who may not be familiar. That's
okay. I thought that was happening.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and explain. So, Jim and Waffle both just found the warp to the ancient pyramid, which is the final area of the game and where the final boss lives. That will shorten their and the modern warp beacon down here, which is their access to the present, and that's Lake Desolation.
That's a lot.
The first warp in the game.
That's a lot.
So they now have a pretty wide open set of things to go through. So what I was saying, so orb swapping. With some orbs, especially the eye orb, the players have a jewelry box, which allows them to have 3 different orb layouts, different weapons, different spells. By switching back and forth from a layout that does not have the same orb as you have equipped, you can cancel the animation of the orb, switch right back to it, and start it over again, refreshed, as if you had not fired recently. With the eye orb in particular, it has we'll call it a feature, where the hitbox doesn't go away even though you've switched off the orb.
I'm gonna try to fix the audio real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna
yes.
do that.
All right. So Jim went up to the Under the Twin spot, which is a common check to do just to see if there's any vertical there. Found the gas mask, which meant that he couldn't save and quit out, which is what you would normally do there. Meanwhile, Waffle went directly to the present and has found the elevator key card and the first of our Timespinner gears. In order to beat the game, the players must find all 3 Timespinner gears, the Timespinner wheel, and the Timespinner spindle. So that's 1 of 5 in order to finish. Jim has decided to go all the way back to the upper maw caves, it looks like. So this check isn't a very popular play when he's got present access. There's 2 checks here that he can get to without the water mask, but sometimes what you need is down here. Meanwhile, Waffle, continuing to go through the present, is going to be seeing our first boss fight here probably momentarily once she makes this climb. Alright, so Jim finding some tea, and Waffle finds Genza at boots. Genza, weak to sharp damage, so it's probably going to be taken out by this orb really quickly. So the plus side of the Upper Maw Caves check that Jim just finished is that because he... at the end of it, there is a free warp back to the refugee camp, and there's helpfully a warp right here that he can go to. I think Jim has forgotten that he got the modern warp beacon, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Waffle handily took out Genza, is now going through the sewers, found a evidence of Blood Plus, and also another warp beacon to the past. Jim killing the pink bird, and we see Cantorin at Cantorin. Oh, that's a good point. So Jim, he can't do so. There is a logic to wanting to come to the left side first in order to burn the vines, so that when you get to the present, you'll be able to explore more. However, because the lake is flooded, excuse me, because the lake is flooded, they can't get to the vines. They need double jump or light wall or celestial sass. They need some sort of vertical. So Jim's now going to have to go to the present. I think Jim was hoping to find that vertical at Cantorin so he would be able to save some time. Unfortunately, he's having to now backtrack and go to the warp because they don't have warp shards, which is what Waffle is picking up here in the library. Thank you so much, Winfei. That is...
Yeah, I couldn't actually hear the audio to approve it, so I just said it's perfect just to let it through, so if it is a little bit loud or quiet.
Waffle has found Water Mask in the library locked by the D card and double jump in the library.
Yeah. That's pretty big.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and switch us to Waffle's audio because she is ahead. And that's security key card A in the library. Star of Lakiam in the library is plus, which means our Empire Orb is going to be plus. And Waffle is checking to see who was at the Ifrit fight.
With so much damage, I could definitely see her,
Yep, she's going to give it a shot.
With such good blunt, this is kind of a...
Yep. Zarian is one of the late game boss. Oh!
Very painful, though.
Painful death. So, this is a combination of two factors here. The Zarian boss fight is a late game boss fight who is known for being a difficult fight, and the one of the settings we have on is boss randomization, which we haven't touched on yet. All of the bosses are shuffled among each other. But they are scaled to the locations that they're at. Unfortunately, this boss fight is a post-game boss fight, which is placed here in the library as part of the randomizer so that we can get to it in a more convenient fashion than the original plan, which is you have to go through the Infinite Gyre. It is unlocked by having that Kobo familiar with that little blue lump you can see on the bottom of their trackers. And there's one item before the boss and then two items after the boss. Zarian at Ifrit is terrifying. Waffle is going to take that water mask back to the past and go do some things as Jim catches up in the present, doing a lot of things that Waffle's already done.
Yeah, that audio is decent, huh?
It might be just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and...
I've done some of these tools before, so I'm doing my best.
Would you like me to ask for a volunteer?
I could refresh the layout, which might help.
Okay. Alright, Waffle continuing.
Also...
Okay, so Jin Inferno is unfortunately minus, I believe. But Jin Inferno is one of our few allowed glitches. It's plus. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of just a quality issue on my end. But okay, so that is Jin Inferno plus.
That's just so much damage.
Yes, Jin Inferno is the highest damage orb in the game. It is actually the reward, one of the rewards for beating that Ifrit boss in the base game. Which means it is high damage, but also it has a glitch associated with it. Jin Inferno launches a giant fireball across the screen. Oh, and we have Shadow Seal Plus as well. Interesting. Which means Nether Plus is somewhere in the seed. Anyway, the Jin Inferno fireball has a bug with it. If you are able to charge up and fire another instance of Jin Inferno before that fireball has despawned, your aura cost will be refunded. And so if you can continue to chain fireballs across the screen, you only have to use the cost of one Jin Inferno and just continually launch the highest damage spell in the game across the screen.
I'm gonna refresh the layout real quick right now.
All right.
Let's hope for the best. I just really hope clicking this button doesn't just like crash everything.
Okay.
It is done.
I still have a little bit of desync, but it's honestly not all that
Please
bad.
no crash.
So Waffle continuing to go through Lake Serene here. It's going up to the Azure Queen spot. Fighting the Maw. Maw is a rather easy boss to fight. Doesn't move. Has a sweet spot. Oh, Jim dying very quickly to Zarian and Ifrit. Probably won't try that again. Oh, Burning Vines. And moving on to Maw Caves. Pretty linear seed we've got going on here today. About the never mind. Here, I was about to say the only variance we could possibly have would be if Jim decided to take that D key card and go to an early towers check. So this is going to be an interesting decision because with elevator key card and D card, he can only do the left tower here, but he can do a fair few things here. There's probably 4 or 5 checks here he'll be able to get. And if any of these are important, there's a Blood Orb Plus, which does dark damage, I believe.
Getting that save and quit because nothing was down there.
Unfortunately, nothing progression in the tower. So Jim is going to use a Warp Shard and probably go back to the past and do a lot of the things Waffle's already done. Here we are going into this room with 4 chests. Nothing here today. Yes. So Jim did remember to do that room. As we get a question from the developer of Timespinner himself.
Burning some vines for the future visit.
Yep. Waffle finishing up the last check in the caves proper.
Nothing really here.
Yep. Oh!
But
so here's it.
That's great.
Yeah, so we have an interesting conundrum here. So Waffle did not get the gas mask from underneath the twins, which means she's not going to fight the Maw spot here. So if there's something at... Well, she may decide to fight it, even though she doesn't have the gas mask. We'll see. She is opting to skip, it looks like.
At least getting this check first, it seems. And going just directly over here. This is a pretty... I don't see it a whole lot, but it's pretty nice. Just, you take that elevator up, you come over here immediately just to get these few checks.
Ooh!
That's a B card, which is pretty nice.
That is an important key card.
Yeah.
That makes going over to the towers a lot more interesting.
Wind is always plus, don't listen to the game. But after you do that, you're able to warp over here and do a bunch of checks pretty fast and not having to take the time to... There's no bias here. It kind of cuts the time of having to climb up that tower to get that chest, which can take quite a bit of time.
Indeed. Waffle also going to, because she didn't get the lower warp like Jim did, is going to grab the waterfall, the 2 checks in the waterfall on her way down.
Also can get Bat Ledge, which is pretty nice too.
Oh,
this is 4 pretty fast checks.
Indeed. Waffle also about to pass by one of our breakable walls that she cannot break because of no Oculus Ring. So that is one of the spots that will have to come back. And there's keycard C. So this is very much going to cement going over to Mardigraf Towers as soon as she checks the last two things down here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I've actually started using this elevator strat. I learned it from watching Ducky, one of our other racers.
I think that's one of my favorite things, is like some people just do something a specific way and you're like, I think that's actually a lot better than I've been doing it, and you just kind of incorporate it.
Yes. Especially since she beat me.
I think it was actually, was it Jim that beat someone using Frozen Spires?
Perhaps.
Or was it the other way around?
Oh, interesting. So Waffle in the top of the elevator shaft found our first pink item, which will allow them to get to a room in the castle. Technically the castle keep, I believe.
I'm gonna switch over to Jim's audio for a bit.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah. It looks like Waffle is going to go back and try the Ifrit spot again, now with a few more levels.
Going for a Kobo rematch, yeah.
Oh, and pick up that keycard A.
Shielding is actually a very interesting thing to get right here, because there is actually a pretty fun spot right where Waffle's standing, where you can block this entire attack.
Oh, interesting.
It's a little bit of a specific spot, but it's very useful.
Yep. So yeah,
and also,
Waffle.
I forgot about Jin.
Yeah. So Waffle now has Jin Plus, which Zarian is weak to, as well as more HP, more aura, more defense. I'd say laser access.
The first one.
So another one of our new settings this year is the Prism Break setting. Instead of having to defeat 3 specific bosses in the past to unlock the military hangar and the lab, we now have the laser access items separated from their bosses, and that was the first of 3.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see where Tablet was, but Jim just picked it up, right? I think.
Yeah, it was down here in the caves, I believe. It was on the pedestal.
I wonder if something is going to be right where below Jackpot. Okay.
Yep.
I could definitely see taking down Ma right here, doing a lot for Jim.
Yep. So Jim has that gas mask, so he's not going to have the oxygen meter down here. And so he's probably... there's another laser access for Waffle, so we're going to see if Jim goes for the boss here.
This is a little desync, just time-wise as well, by about like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yep, and sure enough, Jim is in fact going to fight Azure Queen. Azure Queen's going to get melted by orb swapping eye orbs.
Mm-hmm. Just so much damage.
So much damage. Waffle is now doing the Siren Caves, the present equivalent of the Upper Maw Caves. Major difference being that instead of poison towers, we've got this nice little skill jump room with the slimes, and there's no elevator shaft. It is very sealed.
Uh-huh.
They know what's down there. They didn't want it coming back.
We're gonna see Jim pick up some of these cards now. If I remember right, C was also around here. I think it was like the waterfall or something.
Yeah, C is in the waterfall.
Sorry, I feel a little scatterbrained from having to look at trying to fix stuff. So I'm kind of more focused in now.
No worries. So Waffle has now cleared off everything, and probably, I would expect... Waffle's got a few choices here. She's got the A card. She's got all the key cards except for V. Looks like she is going to go for Zarian Caves and fire checks.
I don't think we've seen Jim grab these yet. Correct? Because, I mean, it'd be better to do that now for him, because he gets those 2 extra checks.
Correct. He has not yet gotten the fire checks. So he's going to get, when Jim comes to this area, he's going to get 2 extra checks that Waffle will not because of the gas mask.
And Waffle is deciding to just dip down here immediately? Oh, just grabbing the warp. Okay.
Yep. Tapping the warp, make sure she can come back to it later.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, these big, thick vines are now no longer here, so Waffle can come check these spots.
That's the Oculus Ring.
That's the Oculus Ring. So now Waffle was going to be able to break breakable walls, which is a good timing because there's one on the other side of this area.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's 2 in this area.
Fade, Scalia. Yeah, there was it the last match before this that was decided by, or was it Waffle? Waffle's last game, like the last.
Oh, I can't remember.
There was a game.
Yes, there was a match recently where the final Timespinner piece was on the skeleton. Jim heading back over to the towers to use all of his key cards. We'll see how much of the towers he does. Waffle just went along the bottom and... Oh, she is going to the Zarian Caves.
That's a C-Sash at Skelly. A little happy dance.
I don't know if that was a happy dance or an upset dance, because she could have been here a while ago. So Celestial Sash is our infinite vertical item. With it, our players can just go up as far as they want.
Don't fade Skelly.
Do not. The downside of this area is that it is a high-level area. It is intended to be the last area you go to before going to the true final boss, and it's got some scary enemies down here.
A positive of it, though, at the same time, is it is a later on area. If you kill the things down here, it is some of the most experience in the game, if I'm remembering correctly.
That is a fair point.
I know me and Waffle before I've had, I think, a race where we had to be here pretty early, or we had the chance to, and she did it early and just had so many more levels.
Oh, yeah. We've also had a few races this tournament where the present access was the warp next to the Zarian boss fight, and so you had to go through the whole cave backwards at low level. One thing we haven't talked about is the accessory slots. I've actually seen a lot of diversion in terms of what players prefer for their accessory slots. I've seen some people who prefer the experience items in the form of Stellan's Bangle and the Galaxy Earrings, which give you a lot of extra levels, which gives you inherent damage and HP. I've seen some players who prefer just the raw damage items in the form of Azure Stoles. And I know there's at least one person in our tournament who prefers the Pendulum and the Bird statue just so that they never have to deal with status effects.
That is more than fair. I actually don't know who that is, but
that's
not a bad idea.
That is our now eliminated number 2 seed Batty Mass Index.
Oh. Dang. I think just earlier on, if you have like the earrings or Stellan's Bangle, that's just like the obvious yes, of course. And then late game, there's a Ravenlord.
That is Ravenlord at Zarian. So we've kind of
swapsies, right?
Yep.
Wait, so no, that's Ifrit spot.
If we see Ifrit at Ravenlord, it'll be the full rotate.
The trifecta. At least, you get C-Sash before you come down here.
Yep, so Waffle has good vertical and Jin Inferno, which Ravenlord is weak to fire, so she should have no problem taking this out, and there it is. Jim is down in the Siren Caves.
Crystal.
I did not catch to see if Jim did the rest of the tower. I think he did, yes.
I don't think there was really anything up there, because I'm not seeing anything on there. I was keeping an eye on him, but there's just nothing every single room.
Yep, and Waffle is now going back to the past, has this sash, and is probably going to go do Alana's tower.
Gonna go check some of these spots first. Also getting that C-Sash for all of tower.
Yep, exactly.
That was a wind orb. I know it's plus in my heart, but she skipped it. Also, yeah, we're about 28 minutes in, and there is only one time spinner piece that we have seen.
Yep.
We are
Jim,
seeing.
go in.
Yeah. I was just gonna say Jim's coming back here for a rematch too now.
Yep. So with the prison break, one thing we've seen a lot of is people not fighting the golden idol spot here that Waffle is currently directly under, for two reasons. Number one, you would normally kill the golden idol to get the laser access, but now that's not bound to the golden idol. So the golden idol only blocks one item. The other thing is that if you find the golden idol in the boss randomization and find it somewhere else, you can actually for like 1 or 2 frames after the boss dies, you can see what drops in the room. And so many players have been skipping this boss fight to hopefully find the golden idol somewhere else, see what drops, and hopefully skip an entire boss fight. But at this point, they have such good damage that there's just no point.
Yeah, Dad's going down like this next hit, I think. No, a couple, I guess. Yeah.
Golden idol has a lot of HP because it's a double phase.
That's true.
And it's just a pyro ring.
Sadly, nothing of import. Going around this side from the right first is gonna give Jim the unfortunate surprise of Oculus ring at the other end.
Oh, but he's gonna get to
we see these 2 checks.
So Jim has these 2 chests, and it is an
Economizer not bad, and health not needed. So we might see that just entirely skipped.
Yep. Pretty good chance that Waffle skips that entirely unless something really wild happens. And
that's
there's our
laser. Wow.
That's all of our lasers. There's Jim finding Oculus and being slightly stunned for a moment, I think.
So Waffle now has lab access. I'm gonna go back to her audio.
Oh yes. As we move into the towers.
Yeah, first time here, might as well.
Yep.
But wow. That's a lot open and with no time spinner pieces besides 1 gear. I think we're gonna see lab and maybe even Dad's tower.
Yeah, there are there's our Empire Plus.
Yeah.
There are very few things that our players cannot get to at this point. In fact, I think there's that Selen Spangle as mentioned.
Now we're seeing that Empire Orb and Selen's equipped.
Yeah, I think the only thing our players can't get to is the V card room in the library and the Raven Lord spot because they don't have the Merchant Crow familiar.
We haven't seen anyone dip into the pyramids.
Oh,
sorry,
Jim just found the wheel.
Oh wow!
And so wheel is at the lower Oculus, the not so hidden room in Lake Desolation, the room that teaches you about hidden walls because it is so obvious on the intro. So that might give Jim an advantage because this is we've had a lot of races decided by what we've kind of started calling the onesie twosie spots. These spots that they're very far out of the way for one check that you need Oculus Ring or something else to get. And it might be a while before Waffle gets that just because of check density.
Oh, that must have been Ice Orb before. So that was the definitely plus Wind Orb.
Yep. And here is the Feline Sentry.
And Sea Sash for Jim at the same time.
Jim doing the exact same angry dance.
Yeah.
And that is...
Goodbye, Boots. We'll see you next round. There's Crow, which could be important.
Yep, there's that Merchant Crow, which opens up the last Geyer boss in the lab.
Otherwise, there hasn't been much up here, right?
I believe that was the only progression.
Yeah.
Other than, I think, Empire Plus was up here? Yeah. Jim's gonna make his way through Zarian Caves now.
There's a whole lot of nothing in the Ilanas. I think Crow is literally the only thing.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a very, very good... Oh, there's the V card.
Oh, that's pretty important.
Yep. So probably gonna see that be a quick check, and now it's just down to the present, I think. Oh,
So yeah. Good point.
Actually,
yeah, I'm gonna go check that V. Probably. It's
Yep.
3 super fast checks.
yeah, we've got the V card here, but we've got I think 3 remaining large areas of the game, which are Vondergraff's Tower.
There were only body equipment things in there.
Which, to be fair, Waffle did not get that early lab coat, so she's been needing something.
That was a closet. Thank you, Linkshot.
So we've got the Varnacroft Towers here. We've got the military hangar and the lab to the right. But none of our players have gone to the pyramid.
The Gyre could also have stuff in it for Jim.
That is true, because so the big portal that Waffle just passed was the portal to the Infinite Gyre, another moved entrance in the randomizer. Only in logic if you have the Timespinner wheel. Although technically the 2 checks that Waffle just did at the top of that room were also locked by the Timespinner wheel.
I think if you have C-Sesh, you can get it, because as we saw, you can get between it. No?
You can. The logic currently dictates that you need the Timespinner wheel. It's a spot of discussion in the community.
Yeah, I think I have seen talk about that. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Taking down those people real fast. We're seeing that lab is gross.
Ooh, the lab is
go down.
The lab is flooded, so another one of our victims of the Rising Tides flag. The lab is very slow and flooded. There's Timespinner gear too at the gun orb spot.
We don't know where the spindle is, nor the 3rd gear. There's still so much open.
Indeed.
It's so green in here.
And it looks like Jim is going to do the tower, or finish up the tower.
It's really easy being green, and it's a little bit blinding. Oh, I forgot that's where it goes to.
So Waffle hasn't updated. So we actually... there's the spindle.
Ooh.
So we're just missing a gear. We recently had a patch during the tournament to remove that green color.
Yeah. I believe I remember that.
Yep. Jim going through the Varnagroth Tower Spider Hell. Waffle about to go through the other Spider Hell.
The pleasant time down here in the water.
Yep. Jim is going to deck the Varnagroth boss spot. And fighting Nightmare, the final boss of the game, and commonly regarded as one of the easiest bosses in the game. Or a trap. Oh, Bombardment Plus.
Pretty good.
Bombardment Plus, commonly regarded as, I would say, the 2nd best spell in the game after Jin Plus.
Waffle's making me scared with that health here.
Ooh, yeah, Waffle. Okay.
Plasma orb there. Have we seen all of this tower yet? I don't think Waffle's done like any of that, huh?
Waffle has literally not gone into the tower at all. So if the 3rd gear is here, Jim has a significant advantage because everything else is just kind of along the way.
Spindle and gear 2.
Yeah, but doesn't look like there was anything in the tower for Jim. So.
Oh, he still has to do all the Ilanas. That's right.
Yep. Radiant minus. I think that's our first indication of Radiant.
I think it is.
So I think
it's that bombardment.
I do believe we've seen every orb and or spell at this point. So we've got a pretty good indication of what's plus and what's minus.
Oh, that was a nether orb, and it's plus. Oh god, that's a great find. That's like one of my personal favorites.
I mentioned
that was faded. Oh.
Yep. So I mentioned that Shattered was one of the best best blunt orb. Nether orb might also be in the running there.
It has the special added effect of having dark. It's one of the only orbs that can do a second. I think it is the only orb that can actually do a second damage type, and that alone is just so handy.
Yep, the Nether Orb has a side effect of if you manage to hit a projectile with it, it creates a dark area that causes damage over time, and it is a lot of damage over time.
Mm-hmm. And it's dark, so like most things in the game are like weak or neutral to it.
Yep. The game has it nicely set up where if you are weak to either dark or light, then you are strong to the other. And many things are just weak to dark.
Crow just had a bunch of stuff to eat.
And was not Ifrit.
There is still the pyramid, which no one's checked.
That's correct.
We could very much so see that last piece that's needed in there.
Yep, and we also still have the Infinite Gyre.
Mm-hmm.
There's Blue Minus.
Blorp minus.
They can finally now copy their second orbs. I mean, what? And we have a Lana at Genza. Lana weak to the aura damage that player does.
Ready to just tank a laser to the face. Nothing interesting at Genza.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a lot. Waffle's now taking a look at the pyramids.
Waffle realizing
Worst
she's
warp.
gonna have to go through the pyramid anyway. She's got Oculus Ring. She can check everything here.
Mm-hmm.
It has been interesting seeing Waffle, who was before this tournament started a never regret player, has commonly checked regret on her way through the pyramid.
Always bet on regret. I mean red. I mean wait, regret. Yeah. We've seen it decide some games, though.
Yep. We know it won't be the full decider here because we know the wheel is not here in the pyramid.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to see what is here. If it's still nothing, Jim's just been nice and thorough with all those onesie twosies. So if it just happens to be in another like wall that no one's checked that I'm forgetting.
I think they may not have gone for the upper broken wall. I don't know if either of them went back to
in
the
the
broken
present
walls.
or in the past.
In the past lake, yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think either of the past like lake ones, right?
Yep. I also don't know if they've gone back for the Bat Cave brick wall.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad, but not something you want to keep.
Yep, so Waffle is going to save Scum out of regret area and give us an angry dance.
Yeah. Hey, she'll be done with Pyramid. We're seeing Jim get all of Ilana's, seeing that there's pretty much nothing in there, knowing that the Crow is nothing as well. Definitely nothing that was up in Ilana's.
Yep, Jim coming back, probably for a restock on Warp Shards. Oh, nope. Oh, Jim got that V card. He's gonna go check it.
Mm-hmm.
Waffle's gonna... Oh, we have a flooded final boss.
I had a feeling... Alright. We're 40 minutes in, and both players are missing quite a few pieces still. We just don't know where that third gear is.
Yep.
And we know that Waffle needs to make one decision to get that gear, or that wheel, and we're gonna see if the Gyre has it immediately.
If the Gyre has the gear... Oh!
Awful setup for the... Oh, God.
Jim's gonna have to switch to a different... Yeah,
oh, that's awful.
Alright, luckily he's got the hammer, and that'll do.
That sucks, though.
Oh no! So
Wait,
the
is this a second room of it?
No, that's the first room of the Infinite Gyre.
Oh, it's still... Oh, God.
So the Infinite Gyre is in the base game at the left side of the Ancient Pyramid area where Wafflesoup entered it. And it has 6 or 8 rooms of random enemies. In the randomizer, those rooms are going to be the same every time you enter it, so Waffle will also see these if she goes to the Infinite Gyre for any reason. You have to kill every enemy in the room.
Gear 3! Dad has it! Oh!
Oh no! Okay, so... and this enemy right here is the reason why the wheel is required for this area.
This is where... Ooh! That's a beautiful...
We have a lot going on all at once right now.
Yeah, we do.
And there are the Galaxy Earrings, the other equipment. Those increase your orb experience. In the base game, they increase it so that you get 2 orb experience per kill instead of 1. In the randomizer settings this year, you get 15 orb experience instead of 2.
Yep, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It makes that item very useful because orb experience doesn't normally do a whole lot.
Waffle, I think, quite literally only has onesie twosies now. And she's doing this crouch state that I have no idea how she does it.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, now it's going to be a matter of, does Jim fade Emperor's Tower after he's done with the lab? Or will Waffle find it first?
She knows she hasn't done either of these two, so I'm guessing she's going here to check these.
Yep.
Oh, there's this boss.
And has not done Canterin.
Just...
Ooh, Jim.
Ooh.
Does Jim remembers that there is a save point right here?
Ooh. That was 1 health.
Yep. Poisoned, damaged.
This is a wild race.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, poison in this game is terrifying.
Yeah.
It can't kill you, but it does a lot more damage than you would expect. I believe it does 25% of your total HP, if it can. And then expires.
It doesn't kill you, right?
Right,
Okay.
it can't kill you, but it doesn't stop until it's done 25% of your health.
There's that Timespinner 2.
Or you get to 1.
So, Jim's gonna find that, like, just going the way that he's going, it's gonna be an eventual getting everything.
Jim has decided to go do the pyramid first.
Okay. I mean, you need to, but...
Yep, he does need to do this first. And, Waffle is going to go do Lake Desolation, and I think this is going to be her picking up the wheel. Yep. Waffle is now beelining directly to where we all know the wheel is.
I guess going from the left to the right works, just completely not looking at Varney's tower, even though she hasn't done, like, any of it.
Nope. She would rather do breakable walls than go into that tower.
You've done this one, Waffle. Ooh, yeah. That Gyre having absolutely nothing was not doing Jim a favor.
That is unfortunate. Yep. And Waffle's about to pick up her wheel and go immediately to the final boss.
Yep.
And there it is. With a full tracker.
Yep, that's absolutely everything. I think she just didn't do Varney's tower, but that is, like, absolutely nothing, as we know. This, like, for a good while there, I was just like, I don't know what's happening. This is just anyone's. This is... We're gonna see young dad.
One of our 3 dad likes. We might have a double dad like final boss because I don't think we've seen Voltalaris.
I don't think we have. And we've seen pretty much everyone, right?
There are 2 spots we wouldn't have seen because of the
we didn't
area.
See twins, right?
We did see the twins. They were at they were at dad.
Like the location, I think.
Oh no, we did.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, Waffle.
It is a double dad
double
like.
dad like. Favorite genre of game.
So we call the 2 the 2 Nubius fights the dad likes because they have very similar attack patterns, and Emperor Voltalaris gets logged in for having the same thing, and with
Final
an official
punch to the head.
With an official time of 47:30, Wafflesoup is our winner, and we'll see pretty shortly here that Jim has forfeited.
Oh, that was fast. I didn't even...
Hopefully we will get to see them soon, both here in the booth for our post-match interview. GG, and please give your exclamation points in the chat for Waffle.
That was a race.
That was a seed. That
Should be
and
seeing someone in here soon.
we needed to click the buttons.
Oh, did we? Oh.
The buttons are clicked.
Whoever I do that with usually actually does that. I thought that was automatic.
Nope.
How are we supposed to go to sleep after that race? That was a lot.
That was so much.
I think in celebration, everyone should go play a Timespinner Randomizer
And-
themselves.
Welcome to the booth, Waffle. Congratulations.
Congrats. That was very fun to watch.
Thank you. That was a fun seed to play. I actually enjoyed that one.
It's not very often that we see, like, needing to go into lab and just...
Yep.
That was just a lot.
And
Yeah.
also join us, JimTheEternal. Welcome.
Welcome.
I think this was a seed that played to Waffle's strengths, so I'm not surprised that Waffle won, and congratulations. You deserve it.
Thank you.
We
So-
all thought for sure that because you got that wheel, like, way earlier. That was Waffle's go
Oh.
mode. We were
Yeah.
like, if anything's in Gyre, like, you've got that
What
for
the
sure.
crap? Where was the spindle in the last gear that I was
No.
missing?
You were almost there. The spindle was the top download in the lab.
Mhm.
Okay.
So across from Experiment 13. And then the gear was in Dad's room at the top of the tower.
Yeah.
God.
So
Okay.
it's the first seed in a long time I feel like we've needed, like, Dad's tower.
Yeah, that was long enough, and I was meandering enough that there was no way I was going to beat Waffle on a seed like that.
Yeah. I was 35 minutes into the seed and I only had one Timespinner piece and I was sweating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were all very confused about where all of these time spinner pieces were. Yeah, part of what happened here is Waffle decided to completely fade Varney's towers entirely. You
Mhm.
never went above the ground floor.
I don't like it. Even when I had everything to completely cleared it, I was like, no, I'm saving that for last.
Yeah, that was wild. Like, you just had the onesie twosies, and then Varney's tower with, like, you know, the 20 checks there, and you're like, I'm just gonna go do the lakes. Why not?
Yep.
I was sincerely debating never doing Ilana's.
It
Same.
wasn't needed. It wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Because the only things there were the V card and I want to say I don't even remember the other thing.
I will say I was amused by getting into the V card room, and it was just 3 dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
I noticed that.
we were
And I
calling it the
needed-
closet.
I
Nice,
needed
yeah.
better armor at that point too, so that was actually kind of nice.
Oh, I got a lab coat off of the very first rat that I killed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Very beginning, right, going to the left side to grab that initial warp.
Yep.
Jim picked up a lab coat immediately.
I was on, what was it, like Empire Crown was the one of the first 5 checks?
Yep.
Yeah, now,
So I was
Yeah,
on
no.
Empire Crown and lab coat for the entire scene.
Yeah, we had good orbs. We had Shattered and I
Yeah.
plus, like right out of the gate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with our damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I took
It's
a not too bad of a time loss, but a death to Zarian and Ifrit,
Yep.
and then decided not to come back until I had more HP.
Same.
That
But you-
happened. Yep.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep.
yeah.
God, this is just one of those scenes that I needed to decide what I wasn't gonna check, and I just never made that decision. So
Yeah, early
Congrats.
on it was very linear, and then when it opened up, it really opened up.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Also, I appreciated that both of you danced on the skeleton.
Yes. Yep. That was. Not happy about that sash location, but that was fine.
I actually didn't mind that sash location. It felt like it was relatively early on, considering the overall routing. Like, it took a while before we found double jump, but I went double jump, A card, sash, almost like right in order. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to go pick up a key card again, so that I didn't get that until I went back to try Ifrit. So
That's right.
Forgot about that. Yeah,
Yep.
because that was right before.
Also interesting, so Waffle, after you finished the basement loop, you decided to immediately go warp away and didn't even bother to check what was underneath the twins.
If I
whereas-
had realized that I had picked up a beacon, I would have done the same thing. Like, I went to Cantorin because I did not realize I had present access.
Yeah,
we
I don't
were-
remember what it was, but I knew I had present access. And I was just like, all right, let's go there.
No, there was
Yeah.
a beacon, and I read
Yeah.
out loud in my head the location that the beacon was warping to, and then immediately forgot about it and full cleared the past.
Yeah, there were two beacons in the basement loop, the pyramid and the modern warp beacon, and they were almost back to back.
Yeah.
But
I did-
because so what I was going to point out was that Jim did go check that spot immediately and had the gas mask, walked back with it, and then also was able to kill them all while going to the mall caves and check those gas mask spots.
Yeah, I never went back and did that either.
Is there
Yep.
anything there? I feel like there was like a laser gate or something. There must not have been. If you
Nope,
never got
there
it.
was nothing there.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. We were all hoping that the little things that you had, Jim, were going to be able to pull you back in, like having the wheel and going to the gyre. Oh, the third gear will be in the gyre. As you
Right.
were entering the gyre, Waffle found the third gear.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, you were so far ahead of me then.
And I
Gosh.
don't like wheel hunts. Like, I like having wheel, just like it helps me get around smoother as well. So that was also a struggle for me too.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna be playing this back over in my head for like the next day. But I'm not sure that I could have won this seed with different routing. But even if I could have, I did not. And again, congrats, Waffle. You deserve this one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot.
I will say you
It's
both.
just fun.
Yeah, this was really fun to watch. You both had excellent technique in your bosses. Just absolutely, once you had Jin Plus, just melting everything you saw. The eye orb swapping was top tier.
I do love Eye Orb. I will say that. Any seed where I get Eye Orb, like regardless of the outcome, I'm happy.
Watching you just melt the boss that was at the moss spot in like 2.5 seconds was
Bye.
absolutely
Was,
wild.
was that Azure Queen? I think
Yeah.
that was
Yes,
Azure
I believe
Queen.
so.
Yeah,
Okay.
the bird deserved it for standing still.
Yeah, I'm mainly stuck on Shattered in the hopes that I would find Bombardment, and I did. So that kind of paid off too, right at the end.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if I have I+, I don't need to use spells.
Resist to sharp doesn't matter.
So,
Yeah, no, it can be resistant to sharp all at once. It's not resistant to damage.
So as we're getting to the end here, Waffle, anything you want to plug or add?
I just want to do, as I do every time, thank you, Speedgaming, for hosting this. And especially thank you to all of the volunteers, everyone working behind the scenes at Speedgaming and in the Timespinner community. I really appreciate all of this, and it's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot. Thank you for inviting us every year. It's been so much fun.
It really has been. Jim, how about you?
I love these tournaments. I want to see more of these tournaments. I think Wef was making some noises about maybe running some 2v2 archipelago tournaments, which sounds like a fantastic thing to participate in. So
Yeah.
I especially want to call out anybody in the audience. If you're interested in Timespinner as a randomizer, don't let the racing intimidate you. It is a lot of fun as a casual play. And after you play it casually a couple of times, I think you'll find that your times are pretty good. And at the very least, a 2v2 tournament sounds like a great entry point.
Yeah, and I will echo that. Like, last year was my first Timespinner competitive anything. I had been playing the randomizer for probably less than a year at that point. I had watched the previous year's tournament and been really impressed with what was going on. I've been watching all of my friends play it. I joined the tournament not expecting anything, and I ended up getting second place.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ducky, right? Like,
Yeah.
she started this... Not Ducky, Ladybun. Ladybun started with this randomizer literally July, like the month that the tournament started. And she had, like, good performances against, you know, Crimdall, one of the giants of this game, like, made it a fight against Planeswater, last year's winner. Like, this game is a lot more accessible than you think.
Defeated me handily in the very first match of the entire tournament. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Is let's get more people playing Timespinner because I want more tournaments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like this is definitely a game that if you have any interest in the genre of Metroidvanias, action platformers, I think you'll have a good time with this game. And the randomizer is very welcoming. We're on the official Timespinner Discord, which you can find on Timespinner's website. Additionally, Timespinner 2 has been announced. You
Wishlist
should
it.
go wishlist it on Steam.
Sorry.
You can watch the trailer. Plugging Lunar Ray Games, who I believe was in our chat earlier. Also a player in this tournament.
Yeah, I think he's still in, right? He's up against Ducky in the opposite match in the second chance bracket.
Yep. So
That is correct.
Winner of that one races Waffle, and then it's whoever's there against me.
Yep.
That's semifinals.
And then the winner of that goes up against
Tonberry.
James for our final match, and that'll be best of 3 if the winner of the losers. Best of 2, I guess.
No matter who makes it up there, I don't think anybody would have predicted that top 2, but I love it. Like this has been such a good tournament.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. These flags have been very fun and very interesting.
I think it adds a lot of variety.
Agreed. All right. Last thing that I want to mention is the Speedgaming Live in-person event is coming up soon. I believe it's at the end of October, beginning of November, if I remember correctly. So if you have any interest in seeing some of these things live in person, go ahead and check out Speedgaming Live's plenty of information there to attend the event in person. And there will be more tournaments on site.
And we've linked the racers and commentators here a couple times, so follow everyone. Everyone's great. This community is so fun. Like was mentioned earlier, there's the Timespinner Discord. It's good.
Yep, and we have plenty of other online tournaments happening over all sorts of different games. So please feel free to just check out what's going on the Speed Gaming channels. There's 6 of them. And yeah, there's all sorts of things to check out. And I think with that, I think we're ready to wrap up. So I hope everyone has a wonderful night as we've now officially hit Friday over here in Eastern Time.
Thank you all. Thank you again, Speed Gaming. Wonderful race.
And have a good night.
GG, everybody.
Good night, everyone.